Namaskar. The 10th point of the 16 points is called Ishta, or the complete version is uncompromising strictness and faith regarding the sanctity of Ishta. It's actually quite difficult to explain. This point is concerned with faith. The faith is the higher ability within us. Actually, the faith, there is one thing. One is called naive faith. It's just like a child. You're like a child, and that faith is necessary to learn anything. Parents, they tell something to their children. They tell a story about Santa Claus, and the children, they believe. This is natural for our species. We need to know the world, and the first knowledge comes from authority. And as a children, we never doubt anything, and we accept whatever we are told. But then, to counteract that blind faith, another ability develops. It's called doubt. And then we scrutinize and we say, oh, I don't think so. Skepticism. And if the faith and doubt is balanced properly, then our worldview becomes more and more perfect. So the faith is important, and faith, one faith is just a naive faith of a child, and another level of faith is an intuitional feeling. You just know that something is right, and from that state of veracity, from that truth, you draw your inspiration. So the next 4 points, they're concerned with the faith. And there we are dealing with that intuitional kind of faith. But that faith, before it is there within you, you have to nurture it. You have to develop it. Once you develop that intuitional feeling, it becomes a great source of inspiration and becomes so much supportive to you. So, uncompromising strictness and faith regarding the sanctity of Ishta. What is Ishta? Ishta is a spiritual goal. In one way, I can say that Paramapurusha, the supreme consciousness, is my goal. That is one aspect of the Ishta. Actually, this is my goal. I'm moving towards liberation. I'm moving towards infinity. I want to merge myself with the ocean of consciousness. But then, the infinity is something which is really beyond the scope of the mind. So how to catch that infinity? Even if I try to imagine the infinity, as you think, so you become. So if I would just imagine the infinity, I would become infinite. There is this story that gods, they used to enjoy becoming something. They had this supernatural ability. I think myself as a sun. I transform myself in sun. Or whatever, I think myself, I become that. Actually, we all are like that. If we think ourselves something, we become that. So the gods, they were playing and playing and playing, and then at one point, someone came with this crazy idea. Let us become pigs. It will be so nice. We will be playing there in the forest, eating different mushrooms and berries, and it will be so nice. And then all the gods, they say, wow, this is a wonderful idea. And all thought collectively, let us become pigs. And they have become pigs. So they played the whole day, and while they were playing, they actually have forgotten that they are gods. So now there is a problem. How do we come back? Because nobody remembers exactly what is to be God. They know the pig's existence, they don't understand how to be God. So that is the situation. And then there is this ultimate God, the final God, the boss of the gods. He has to also come down in the form of the pig, still remembering how to be God, and teach those pigs how to remember themselves, and then deliver them from that shape. So this is just a story. So how to imagine infinity? Even if we try to imagine infinity, normally our mind is conditioned with the 3 dimensions, X, Y, and Z, and with the time. So the time-space conditioning is there. And if we imagine the infinity, we imagine in terms of space. We are trying to imagine infinite space. But infinity is not that. The infinity of consciousness has nothing to do with space and time. It is beyond space and time. So if you imagine the space and time in your head while you are meditating, what use does it give to you? It is of no benefit. Maybe a little, the mind will expand a little. But infinity is not that. So, truly speaking, we do not know what is infinity. That is why the spiritual teaching is passed on to the disciples in form of subtle instrument. And that subtle instrument is mantra. Mantra is the word of Guru, which contains the spiritual energy, which contains all the answers, which contains the state of spirituality. So you repeat that mantra and you realize, and then you feel through your own personal experience, not through descriptions, but through becoming that. That is one thing, that is one shape. And another thing is the Guru. The Guru, the spiritual master, is the living embodiment of truth. Who is the Guru? The Guru is consciousness. It is said in philosophy, Brahma eva Guru reka na para. Only the Supreme Consciousness is the Guru and nobody else. So the Guru is the one who remembers, I am that consciousness. And the one who has disciplined the body and mind. So the body is quiet, the mind is quiet, the spirit is awake. So that kind of entity who is in that state is the Ishta. So this principle is saying that you must have faith in Guru. It's not a simple thing, because nowadays we have seen so many fake spiritualists. We have so many cheating and scam and so on and so on. So how to develop that faith in Guru? First of all, once you receive the initiation, you take it with, okay, this entity has taught me something very important. I am benefiting very much from that practice. I just give respect. Don't need to have complete faith. It doesn't come immediately. That faith needs to be cultivated. And then, as you do meditation, your intuitional sensibility sharpens. And then you start to perceive what is Guru. Not only physical, you see the photograph, but beyond that photograph, you feel there is a consciousness. One friend of mine, he said, you know, actually, if you would be just a little subtler, intuitionally, every time we would see the picture of the Guru, the photograph, we would do the Sashtang Pranam. We would lie down on the ground in the prostration pose. And I like that, what he said, because I immediately knew when he said that, it's true. It is true. When I do much of meditation and my intuition becomes sharper, when I look at the Guru, I feel the emanation of the Supreme Truth. And when I am loose with my meditation, if I am busy doing work, this and that, and then I get a little bit down with my meditation, then I look and I see just a man. It takes the spiritual eyes to see the spiritual entity. So, but then I don't allow any doubt in my mind regarding that entity that I have once accepted as my Ishta. I have once accepted him as my symbol, as my ideal, and then in that state I have accepted. I saw it, I felt it, but then let's say I'm here now, I'm down again, and then I may be it is time to doubt, but I do not allow the doubt to come in my mind, because that doubt will bring something between us. It will bring some disturbance in our relationship, and I don't want that. So if I want to know, if there is a question, if there is a doubt on the intellectual level, I have to doubt my understanding. Do I understand correctly? I have to doubt the view of the world. I have to doubt my philosophy. But I will resolve this doubt by bringing myself up and not down. So that is the principle of Ishta, to love the one who has come to you to liberate you, to love the Guru, to respect the Guru, and to have the goal in life. Through the Guru, I am reaching the immortality, I am reaching the infinity, and that state of infinite consciousness, my actual goal. So I don't know if I have explained clearly or not, because it's a very subtle topic, and many people, they have different reservations. But it is one time we had a retreat, and there were many advanced practitioners, and we immediately went very high. We started to sing and we started to meditate, and there was a very strong flow. So we all were very, very high. And that person, he was new. So he was experiencing different problems in the mind. It's like he didn't want to accept that there is a picture of the Guru. Are you worshipping this man? Why should I worship this man? Actually, it's not like worshipping the man. You are moving, your goal is infinite consciousness. That picture is the symbol, it is the key that tunes your mind. It's just like is a tool, is an instrument. You look at the picture of the Guru, for some time, you meditate, and then it starts to open up. The Guru embodies a certain state. So when you look at him, you discover that state within yourself, and that is the beautiful thing. So in that state you are, and then you love. And then, so he was telling these things to me. You are worshipping the man, you are idolaters, and I was saying, I really can explain everything logically to you, but I do not want to. Now I really want to worship the man. That was the feeling, because I see the truth emanating from that enlightened personality. I get attracted to it, I fall in love with it, and then somebody doesn't understand. So it is difficult to understand. So this should never be imposed on people. you have to naturally grow, organically grow to that understanding. It's good to have picture of the guru in your house. You keep it. I mean, not every guru is like that. There are only a handful of few people in this planet who lived and they embodied that state. So, but once you have the real one, then you keep it there, the picture. And before meditation you look. And then you connect. You make a relationship. The moment will come when your intuition will awaken and you will understand everything. And nobody needs to tell you anything. You understand everything through your intuitional eyes. So for me, nobody can convince me anything against the guru because I see it with my own eyes, with my eyes of intuition, with my experience of the wave, of the cosmic wave. I experience that. So that is the basis for the faith. And faith nurtures the inspiration. It's just like a constant portal of inspiration. If I need inspiration, I just look there at him. And after a few moments, I will discover that state in myself and I will be inspired. And it will come. It's not only the inspiration as an emotion, but it comes also as the knowledge, because the guru is the one who dispels the darkness. So when you focus on the guru, it gives the knowledge. It's a beautiful thing. It's an intuitional thing. When I give my lectures, it's nowhere from. It comes from when I think of the guru, I focus on him, and after some time I get I sit on the wave, just like in a horse. And the wave develops and I talk, and sometimes I'm myself surprised. How come these things came out of the mind, but they come from the deeper layers of the mind? Just like Swami Vivekananda came to the Congress of the Religions in USA, and he was late, and then he came with his turban a little bit messed up, and he came, and then he took a minute to think of his guru, Ramakrishna Paramahams, and then he said, "Brothers and sisters of America," and everybody just stood up and clapped. So there was this wave coming from the higher planes of existence as he took the thought of his guru, and then everybody felt it. So this is a very mystical portion of the spiritual path, to connect with your guru, to connect with the perfect spiritual master, and have that link. Through that link, download the energy and knowledge from the higher spheres of existence and manifest it in the world. Thank you very much. Think about and cultivate, little by little, cultivate the faith. Namaskar.